Alright. Had you said the word, I would have left the Jedi Order.
As you've seen, even for the most disciplined of Jedi Masters, there's a lot more to their personal lives than we might initially think. That's why in this video, I'm going to be answering 4 questions about a Jedi's personal life in the title of this video. I should also mention that some of the results to these questions might surprise you, and I actually realised that there was a lot more similarity between Jedi and ourselves than I initially thought. Let's start off with our first question. Were Jedi allowed to have sex? We would assume that Jedi wouldn't be allowed to because
attachment leads to jealousy. The shadow of greed, that is.
However, I was shocked when I saw that George Lucas confirmed that Jedi weren't celibate and could indeed have sex.
Hello there.
After thinking it through, I guess it makes sense. After all, only attachment is forbidden for Jedi, and it's technically possible to have sex without being emotionally attached to the person. However, I would imagine that if any Jedi did this, they would have kept it private, because it would have likely have been looked down upon by the Jedi Order, because there's a risk there with developing an emotional attachment and that person turning to the dark side. So if sex was permitted, what about relationships? Well, I'm sure that you already know that Jedi weren't allowed to have romantic relationships. Nevertheless, we still have countless examples of them doing so. However, in some exceptional cases, some Jedi could be granted permission by the Jedi Order to get married. In Legends, Ki-Adi-Mundi, for example, had 5 wives and 7 children. However, he was only granted this exception because his species had a low birth rate, and doing this would help his species survive. And he also had to try to not develop any emotional attachments with his wives.
What about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
Master Mundi.
This is hardly the time or place for
Wookiees.
So, overall, Jedi could have sex, and in exceptional circumstances they could even get married. So now that we've covered this, let's answer our next question. What did Jedi do in their free time? You can probably already guess that Jedi meditated a lot to help them with their problems, they researched in the Jedi archive to seek knowledge, and they practiced lightsaber combat as their life frequently depended on it. But what about things similar to what we like to do? You know, like drinking. I imagine that most Jedi actually did drink in their free time. We know that Obi-Wan, for instance, has been seen on more than one occasion enjoying a glass of the galaxy's finest beverages. For example, in the bar on Coruscant, at Dexter's Diner, and hell, even at Hondo Onuka's pirate hideout with Anakin.
2 powerful pirates and new friends of the Republic.
In fact, he takes these drinks willingly and enjoys doing so. Now, Obi-Wan is known for being an exceptionally disciplined Jedi Master, and even he drinks whilst he's out on his missions. So, if he drinks, then it's quite likely that other Jedi drank during their free time too. And hey, who knows, maybe even Master Yoda liked to get drunk from time to time. We can see that Obi-Wan and Anakin had a drink together on Florum to pass the time whilst waiting for Hondo to set up a meeting between them and Dooku. If they drank to pass the time when they had nothing to do, then it seems reasonable to say that Jedi would do other things than drinking to pass the time too. So, what sort of other things would they do? It's a given that they'd hang out with people who were on the same mission as them, but perhaps they'd also attend a local opera show, or explore the planet that they were on, or play a game of holochess whilst travelling through hyperspace, or perhaps even attend a local cantina band. Of course, all of these things would be done during their downtime whilst on missions, because Jedi of course were very committed to saving the galaxy. It also seems quite likely that Jedi would have checked the HoloNet to keep on top of any important news. The HoloNet was basically the Star Wars version of the internet. For the tastiest question of all, what food did Jedi eat? Were their meals extremely exotic and crazy, or did they have similar meals to us? The answer is that it depends on the species. For example, Yoda's food was so bad that he actually got into a fight with a serving droid that tried to confiscate his food because he deemed it as inedible. We also know that Yoda's species like to eat frogs. The Jedi Temple's mess hall also served exotic alien foods, although it wasn't all bad. In Dark Disciple, Quinlan Vos is said to eat a food which is the Star Wars equivalent of French fries. However, I would assume that the majority of the mess hall's food was bad and didn't go down well with human Jedi, which is why in Battlefront 2, Obi-Wan says this.
This battle scares me less than the food in the Jedi Temple.
So, this is why Obi-Wan liked to eat out at cantinas such as Dexter's. And not only that, but Qui-Gon also preferred to eat takeaways in his Master Dooku's quarters. So, what sort of foods would humans eat? In Legends, the Jedi Temple served a very popular snack known as Blum Fruit Muffins. I think of these pretty much similar to blueberry muffins, only made with blum fruit from Endor. At Dexter's Cantina, we can also see that they served Nerf burgers, and as Obi-Wan frequented the cantina, we can assume that he ate these. Nerf burgers were pretty similar to beef burgers, but they were just made from the animal Nerf. We can also see that Jedi ate a food known as space waffles. We can see Ahsoka and Rafa eating them in the outside area of a cantina, but they can be seen more clearly in an episode of Star Wars Rebels.
That's it!
Spectre 2 to Spectre 4, come in.
Now that we've covered a little bit of food, what did Jedi drink? So, in Legends, Luke Skywalker is actually addicted to hot chocolate, which is pretty much the same version of our hot chocolate. In fact, he was so addicted to them that he actually hid a stash of them in the Millennium Falcon. And not only is there hot chocolate in the Star Wars universe, but there's also coffee, or at least there's a drink called Caf, which is basically coffee. So as we can see, Jedi ate and drank pretty similarly to ourselves. Well, that is, of course, if you ignore this.
What is that?
Lunch.
How can you eat that?
But Master, you're the one who always taught me to feed off the living force.
That's not what I...
If you're enjoying the content, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be putting out new Star Wars videos every single Friday. So, now for the big question. Did Jedi get paid, and how did they fund their lifestyle? In most cases, Jedi didn't actually get paid as such, but they received funding for each mission they went on, and they could use these funds to help them pay for things like transport, food, and any other necessities to help them complete their mission. The Jedi Order actually took care of most Jedi's needs, including ships, food, equipment, and even shelter, as the Jedi had their own room in the Jedi Temple. So they didn't really need to pay for anything, as the Jedi Order took care of everything. So as making this video, I was quite surprised, because Jedi do work pretty hard to save the galaxy, but it appears that even they have like a little bit of room for fun, you know, whether it's sex, whether it's drinking, whether it's eating tasty food, or whether it's doing stuff when they have nothing else to do. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of all this. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.